Hey, what's up, peeps? It's your boy PC Williams coming to y'all live again on a great Monday. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Not feeling too good, man. Got being under the weather a little bit today, but the show must go on. I'm gonna soldier on through it for y'all. Y'all support me, so I'm gonna keep on giving y'all what y'all want, man. So, like I said, this is 1K Sports. We keep it uncut, unfiltered, unbiased, unapologetic. It's your boy PC Williams. Let's get down to it. All right. Another great weekend in college football. Nothing too big happening. Couple upsets. A couple letdowns. The usual Saturday. As you know, Jim Harbaugh finally, Jim Harbaugh got the best of little brother. Michigan State. To me, I thought it was a great statement win for Jim Harbaugh. He's been on the hot seat, and I did pick Michigan to represent the Big Ten and go to the college football playoff. I did do that. Um, it was a great statement win for him. I think Michigan State is not that great of a team, but hey, a rivalry game is a rivalry game. I thought it was a gutsy effort. But at this point, with Ohio State going down, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes here, with Ohio State losing, and then the big win at Michigan State, I think as of right now, the Big Ten is all Michigan's right now to win. So I think the pressure on Jim Harbaugh has increased. I don't think he's not on the hot seat, but at the same time, he's not off the hook just yet. I think Jim Harbaugh is still, kind of coaching for his job. I did pick him to win the Big Ten and go to the college football playoff. I did that basically because I feel like it's time for him to start winning. You got the big money. You right up there with Nick Saban and Urban Meyer as the highest paid coach. Those guys have national championships. You don't. So I think it's time for Jim Harbaugh to start winning and putting some of that to good use. So as of right now, I thought it was a good win at Michigan. Not an easy place to play. Michigan State always plays Michigan tough. That actually was Michigan's first road win against a ranked opponent in the last few years. So, I'm impressed, but I'm not really impressed. I think Jim Harbaugh and the crew doing a pretty good job up there this year, but I still gotta see. But as of right now, you gotta take a man for what he is right now. And as of right now, I think Jim Harbaugh is doing pretty good. I think he should be the favorite to win the Big Ten with Ohio State being compromised right now. But Michigan as a team right now, I think they may have the best defense in the country. And this comes from an Alabama fan. I think Michigan has the best defense in the country right now. So, and that's a scary thought with them having the offense now. Shea Patterson transferred in from Ole Miss. He's their quarterback. I figured it would take him a few games or so to really get in tune with the offense. Jim Harbaugh is pretty good with quarterbacks, so I figured he'd be okay. But for the most part, you got the best defense in the country. You have an offense that's improving week to week. Excuse me. Peoples Jones is a pretty solid receiver. So they got something going on right now. They got a quarterback finally. He finally has a quarterback. The defense is just as stout as it's always been. So I feel like going down the stretch with the way they play defense and the more comfortable Shea Patterson gets in this offense, they're going to be a very dangerous team down the road, as I predicted. But they got a long way to go. You still got to go and take care of business with Urban Meyer. You still got to do that. Still got to take care of Penn State. So Michigan is not completely off the hot seat. I'm still watching. I'm still looking at Jim Harbaugh through the microscope of, hey, I expect you to win big this year. So as of right now, I think Michigan is the favorite to win the Big Ten. And I think Jim Harbaugh is off the hot seat, but not off the hook. So we'll see how it plays out for Michigan. Well, I noticed that UCF and USF don't get no love. They're both undefeated. They're both playing really damn good football right now. But you probably won't find either one in this college football playoff. Now, I have suggested that the NCAA do an 18 playoff. That way, you could include UCF and USF in those one of those final three spots because they don't play in the Power Five conference. I'll give you that. They'll have a stronger schedule. I'll give you that. So I understand why they're not ranked, but I have an idea. My advice to UCF and USF is this: continue to recruit your ass off, keep on getting the top athletes to come play for your school, keep on doing that. If I'm UCF and USF, starting next year, I schedule a Power 5 conference powerhouse to play. Whether it be a neutral site, you go to their house. If you can remember, just a few years ago, Boise State was a school that was kind of okay. They're beating up on nobodies. They don't play anybody. Who have they played? What kind of conference they play in? Then all of a sudden, you start seeing Boise State beating teams like Oklahoma, like a West Virginia, like a Virginia Tech. Then they start to gain momentum, and now you see Boise State, as a contender. So. And I'm not saying that it's going to last long or that my ideal is going to work more than others, but I feel like UCF and USF should definitely, if they want more attention and more respect, they should schedule tougher games. They should, I would say consider a conference move. I mean, you're UCF, you could be in the ACC. USF, same thing, move to the ACC or maybe the SEC, who knows? But I feel like to get the respect you want amongst these Power 5 conferences, you have to perform at their level and play the kind of competition they play to get the respect that they get. So I definitely think UCF and USF should be in strong consideration for the playoff, but I understand why they're not. But hopefully, they can do some conference reshuffling. Maybe they'll move it to an 18 playoff next year. I don't know. That would be great, I think, for the sport to see these two teams get in, because right now they're undefeated. They haven't lost. So I mean, we can't continue to punish a team because they're not playing no one. Hey, if you're not losing, you're not losing. So you can't punish a team for winning. But I understand how the rules are. But my suggestion to UCF and USF: continue to win, continue to recruit, but start scheduling some tougher teams. Maybe a neutral site. Maybe you play Ohio State, in Texas, or you play Alabama in Atlanta. Schedule some tougher teams on a neutral site, get you some more notoriety like that. So that was my suggestion to UCF and USF. Well. Another Saturday, another great game, another group of great games. Sorry. Another embarrassing, blown out loss by Urban Meyer to an unranked team. And plain and simple, Ohio State got exposed. As you know, they got beat down pretty bad by Purdue. It was something like 49-20. It was just horrible. On the road, the Buckeyes just looked disinterested. They look soulless. They look defeated. Offensively, they're not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Defense can't stop a nosebleed. And, of course, everyone's saying, oh, well, Nick Bosa, he left school early to, well, hey, Nick Bosa is a damn great player. He just might be the number one pick in this draft coming up. But that doesn't mean that your whole defense sucks. You may have arguably the best front seven in the country. So losing Nick Bosa, yeah, that's a big loss, but I don't think it's that big to where you have to go out there and give up 49 points big. So I definitely think that was a very much embarrassing loss. You think about the talent Ohio State has on offense, they can't score a touchdown in the red zone with that talent that they have. Just really embarrassing, man. And I just think this loss, it just further proves the point that Urban Meyer is not as great a coach as Nick Saban. I think Urban Meyer is a fantastic coach. He's the second best coach in the country. It's not a competition. It's not a question about that. But I don't feel like Urban Meyer is held to the same standard as a Nick Saban. If Nick Saban gets blown out by 29 points or 31 points on the road to a Tennessee or a Vanderbilt kind of team, Nick Saban will never hear the end of it. Hell, Nick Saban gets criticized for winning by 20 and looking too dominant, or, oh, they didn't look too good on defense. They gave up 31 points, but they scored 60, but whatever. I feel like Urban Meyer at some point, this has to stop, man. There is no way, as great of a coach as you are, as great of a team as you have, to lose like this. Last year, you beat Penn State, very emotional game. You know, I get it, went down to the wire, had to come back and win. Then the very next week, at an unranked Iowa team, you get blown out by 31. Same thing this year. Win a big game at Penn State, emotional. Oh my God, Ohio State's coming, playoff bound. Then you go to Purdue and just get the brakes beat off of you by another unranked team. And I'm not saying Purdue is trash. They're very much a good, solid football team. They're not a great football team. I think Rondale Moore is an explosive, dangerous athlete. I think he's going to make some NFL team very happy in the draft. A lot of guys don't know Rondale Moore, but I said the first game of the year when Purdue played Northwestern, I said, hey, remember the name Rondale Moore. He will be a big factor in the Big Ten for the next 3 years. Well, I can promise you Ohio State will never forget that name. They will never forget that name because he torched them something like 12 catches, 190, and a couple of touchdowns. Even scored the touchdown and put the game completely out of reach. So, but Ohio State is still a great team. But for Urban Meyer to continue to lose like that, to get blown out on the road to an unranked opponent, that doesn't do well for me. And I just feel like it further proves my point that he's not on the level of Nick Saban. Nick Saban is here, and everyone else is down here. Urban Meyer is right here. But after what I saw, from what I saw last Saturday, Nick Saban is right here. Urban Meyer is right here. You know, he's separating. The more he allows these things to happen, the furthermore he separates himself from Alabama. If you can remember, before Bama started their dynasty, it was Urban Meyer's Florida Gators. That was the top team in college football, the top of the food chain, you know, the place everybody wanted to go play ball at. And Nick Saban completely trashed that dynasty and built his own off of it. And that was on Urban Meyer's watch. Now, he did beat Nick Saban on his way to a championship in 2014. You know, and that's pretty much, you know, hey, I give him that. And I think he's a great coach. And if there's any coach in the country that I will put against Nick Saban in a big game, it'd be Urban Meyer because he's great at what he does. And I think he's kind of known Nick Saban a little bit. They've kind of got a good little rivalry going on where, you know, they started out at Florida with Alabama. Now it's Ohio State and Alabama. So, but I feel like coach to coach, man to man, Urban Meyer is not the coach Nick Saban is. And these blowout losses on the road to unranked teams continue to show that. So I think Ohio State still can make the playoffs. But right now, with how Michigan's looking and how Ohio State is just, you just never know what's going to happen with them. I think they will figure it out, but I don't believe that I don't believe that, you know, they'll bounce back from this like that. I think they're very much a wounded animal. I think Michigan should be the favorite in that game, the last game of the year. So right now, Ohio State is a wounded animal, and right now, Michigan, their stock is rising. But like I said, Urban's a great coach, but we'll see how he gets out of this one. So, well, as you know, all my good folks in Jacksonville, it's Florida and Georgia weekend coming up. Big time game. I think this game right here so far is the biggest game thus far in the college football season. I think Georgia is a very solid team. They got beat down by LSU, but I think that was more of an aberration than it was reality. I think LSU is very dominant and very much a dangerous team and Alabama's biggest threat right now. But I don't think Georgia was that bad. I don't think Georgia was 36-16 bad. I think, you know, that the game got away from them, turnover started happening, you know, all of that. So I think Georgia is still a solid team, and I think Georgia should be favorite to win this game. As a matter of fact, I got Georgia winning big. And why is that? Because I feel like I trust Georgia's offense. Now, the Florida Gators are very legit. They did beat LSU. They are the only team that has beaten LSU, and LSU is legit. You can make the case that LSU may be the best team in the country, not named Alabama. So, and we'll see how that plays out when they meet in Death Valley in a couple of weeks, which I won't talk about, you know, because Nick Saban doesn't want me talking about Alabama when they're not playing. So, I got you, Nick. So next week I'll touch on the Alabama LSU game, but for the most part, they're both on bye weeks right now, so we'll see how it plays out. But I got UGA and I got them big in a blowout. I think Florida has a solid defense. But for the most part, I think I trust Georgia's offense more than I trust Florida's offense. I feel like Georgia has a stable of running backs. They got playmakers. Hey, what's up, my man Tyree McClendon down here in Jacksonville, Florida? Y'all check him out, man. Uncle Smokehouse Barbecue, some of the best barbecue you ever had in your life. Y'all check him out on Facebook, Instagram, all that, man. But yeah, I mean, I hate to disappoint you a bit, bro, but I did pick Georgia, and I got them beating y'all down pretty bad, man. But like I say, I think it will be a big win by Georgia, but I think they'll run away with it. It's gonna be very tight in the first half. Probably a 10-10 ball game. And I think Georgia, as time wears on, they'll outlast the Florida's defense and score more points. But it's going to be a tough game, and I think it's going to decide the SEC East. I mean, you can pretty much say this game is the SEC East championship because this is how I see it playing out. I think Kentucky is a good, solid team with a very bright future if they stay on the right track. I do believe that. But I don't think Kentucky is that good right now to beat Georgia. So whether Georgia beats Florida or not, I still have Georgia beating Kentucky, So I don't, so if Florida wins this game and Georgia beats Kentucky, then Florida wins the SEC East. It's right there for them, right there in their hands. If Georgia wins, then they're right there in the driver's seat. They're right where they want to be, like they were last year. Had a bad loss at Auburn, but came here and beat Florida. Everything was back on track after that. Everything was pretty good after that. Everything was pretty cool. But, Florida is a tough team, and I do have Georgia winning this game big, but do not sleep on Florida. Do not think for a second that the Florida Gators are not, someone to respect, because they are someone to respect. So me personally, I would suggest that you not take them lightly. It's going to be a big game. I think College Game Day is going to be here downtown at the stadium. A lot of tailgating, a lot of big crowd, man. Bigger than the Jaguars game. So y'all come down here and check it out, man. UGA against University of Florida. Like I said, this is pretty much a de facto SEC East championship game. I feel like the winner of this game will be in ATL to play Bama for the SEC championship. Well. What has happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Damn. Let me take y'all back 5 weeks ago. Jacksonville was 2-0. They had just beaten Tom Brady and the Patriots. Tom Brady and the Patriots didn't look too good in that game. Jacksonville was riding high. It was a video outside the stadium of the whole city dancing to, Lil Duval and Snoop song, Living My Best Life. Everybody was having a great time, and it was great. Then 1-4 happened since beating the Patriots. And you just bench your quarterback who you paid this offseason for a quarterback who is a career backup. Cody Kessler threw his first career completion in this game. That's the lack of playing time this kid has got. He wasn't even the best quarterback at USC. He was more, Matt Castle than he was Matt Leinart. The kid is not that great, and you just bench your franchise quarterback for him. Like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars re-signing Blake Bortles, they will forever live to regret that moment. They will never get that moment back. Signing him pretty much was the ending of this franchise. And I fell for it myself because I picked the Jaguars to win the AFC because I feel like New England is going to have a down year. I think Pittsburgh, they got too much drama with Le'Veon Bell. I thought the AFC is wide open because I felt like the Jacksonville Jaguars defense can play with any offense in the league. But hey, I had it wrong. I got caught up in the sauce myself, and I thought maybe this Jacksonville team is just different. Then they went and signed Blake Bortles. Now, Jacksonville Jaguars, they had so much bravado, had so much cockiness, so much arrogance coming into the season. And I feel like it was well deserved. You just beat down New England. Well, you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You got to think about it. The Jacksonville Jaguars were a quarter away from going to a Super Bowl. So I didn't think the Jacksonville Jaguars would fall off that hard, that quick, that fast. But it's what you have. In the NFL, anybody can have a great year. Anybody can have a great year because it's week to week. It's adjustments. I'm playing this 1 week. I'm playing that 1 week. But once they get a full year on film, they can figure you out. And the one thing the Jaguars have always relied on is, hey, we have a great defense. Well, now this great defense is starting to get exposed for their weaknesses. They don't have a whole lot of them, but they can be ran on, with the right scheme. They can be passed on. And last year, they were just so dominant, you didn't see a weakness. But now you're starting to see a little chick in the armor. Jalen Ramsey, who I'll get to in a second, can't cover short receivers. So hey, what's up, mother-in-law? How you doing? I'm great mother-in-law, Deion Anderson checking in here. But like I said, man, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what happened. But the more I sit back and look at it, man, they're just a bunch of front runners. They're just a bunch of front running, chest beating. When it's all good, we big and bad. We Duval till we die. And like I said last week, Jacksonville Jaguars, welcome to the spotlight. Everyone in Jacksonville has always said, they don't give us no love, man. They don't put us on ESPN. We're so great, man. How come they don't love us how we should be loved? Well, like I said in the Barbershop Friday, you got what you wanted, Jacksonville. You in the spotlight. You got the attention you wanted. You on ESPN. You on FS1. You on TV now for all the wrong reasons. When you talk like the Jacksonville Jaguars talk and you stick your chest out how you do, guaranteeing that you're going to go undefeated, guaranteeing championships, calling everybody trash, you're Jayville and they're not, everybody's overrated except you, it comes back to bite you. They're waiting for you to fail. So this is what it's like to have success in the NFL at that level. And the Jacksonville Jaguars have crumbled under the weight of expectation. Now that the Jacksonville Jaguars can't hide and be underdogs, now you're out there in front of everyone. Not everyone expects you to win, and if you don't win, they're going to tell you about it. And right now, what you have is a 3-4 team with a fractured locker room, bad rapport with the coaches and the players. There was a report that it was a near fight in the locker room with Ngakoue and some guys on the offense. I mean, it's just all dysfunctional. But like I said last week, Duval County, Jacksonville Jaguars, welcome to the spotlight. This is what you guys wanted. You want to be on ESPN. You want to be on FS1. You want to be on all the top networks on TV. Well, now you are. As a big-ass joke. Some front-running punks. That's what you guys are now. Welcome to the spotlight, Jacksonville. And Jalen Ramsey, man, I picked this dude to be the defensive player of the year. And Jalen Ramsey has done nothing but make me look foolish. Because he's not the same player he was last year. He's getting beat almost at will. I mean, the defense as a whole is not what it was last year. They're a lot less physical up front. It's a little easier to run the ball on them. I think Blake Bortles is trash. His backup, Cody Kessler, is even more trash. The receivers are not stepping up. I mean, what happened? Just 5 weeks ago, we're saying they beat the Patriots. They're going to a Super Bowl. Well, now you got Jalen Ramsey. Now he can't talk. Now everyone's not getting along. Well, this is what happens. This is what success brings. It brings cockiness. It brings complacency. And that's what the Jaguars are. They're front running. Things ain't going so good. So there is no trash talk. There is no great things being said by Jalen Ramsey. So this is what it is. Get used to it. You want the spotlight. You have it. And speaking of spotlights, My Dallas Cowboys took an L yesterday, and once again, the Dallas Cowboys continue to be Jekyll and Hyde. When they're at home in AT&T Stadium, they're dominant. They're running the football. Everything's good. No turnovers. We're great. On the road, we turn the ball over. We can't block. We undisciplined. Bad penalties. I just don't know what I have here. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Ezekiel Elliott. Because this guy is sitting there and he's watching Todd Gurley just tear the NFL apart. He's watching Kareem Hunt grow into a superstar. He knows when Le'Veon Bell gets back, he's going to be a superstar. And I feel like Ezekiel Elliott is not, I feel like he's the best running back in football. Like, based on ability and what he can do, he's the best running back in football. But I feel like he's the most valuable. Now, Todd Gurley and those guys are putting up better numbers than Ezekiel Elliott because I feel like they play in better systems. It's like the Dallas Cowboys have no kind of no way of utilizing their great running back. You have a great running back. Build around him. Dak Prescott, well, the good news is he threw for over 200 yards. That's the good news. But I thought there was empty yards. They were in prevent, most of the second half. So I don't get it, man. And everyone wants to say it came down to a field goal. I feel like we did get screwed on that missed field goal. It was not a snap infraction. The guy didn't even move the ball. But I feel like we had no business in that position. We shouldn't have had a fumble that gave them a touchdown. You're in a defensive struggle game. You can't just give the other team a defensive touchdown to their on a fumble on the 1 yard line. You gave that game away, Dak Prescott. But you know what? I've come to a point now where I just feel like let's just give Dak Prescott a Ferrari. Let's give him the keys to a Ferrari and tell him don't crash it. We just got Amari Cooper from the Raiders for a first-round pick. I understand on the surface it feels like, oh my God, they gave a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. Well, that depends on what Amari Cooper you're getting. The guy was the first Raider in the history of the Raiders. Now think about it. That franchise history of the Raiders. Tim Brown and Jerry Rice and Todd Christensen, tight end. Those guys were legendary Hall of Famers. Amari Cooper is the only Raider to have back-to-back 1,000 yards to start his career. So is it that Amari Cooper or the one last year that led the league in drops? Or this year the guy is not doing so good? I say a scheme-wise, quarterback play, whatever. I feel like getting Amari Cooper, it makes us better. Because if nothing else, Amari Cooper is someone you have to account for. I promise you. I've been watching the guy play since Alabama. You cannot leave him one-on-one. He will get open. Now, he had issues with drops, so we'll see. I feel like Amari Cooper, is he the answer to all our problems? I believe not. But bringing Amari Cooper in only makes us that much better. We're not worse because of that trade. Now, was a first-round pick a little too much? Yes. Because Amari, and I love Amari Cooper, roll times. That's my guy. But for the last 2 years, he's not been a Pro Bowl kind of guy. Now there have been injuries, and all of a sudden, Derek Carr has just fallen from heaven, and he's not what we thought he was going to be. So, I feel like bringing in Amari Cooper, I feel like you have an opportunity now. You have a playmaker. And as far as our receivers are concerned, I think Cole Beasley, for the most part, is very solid as a slot receiver. Cole Beasley cannot be your number one guy. Cole Beasley cannot be your primary target, because if he is, you're in for a long day. The kid from Colorado State, Michael Gallup, I think the kid's pretty good. I think he's shown flashes. He's a rookie, so we'll see how he's. He hasn't completely. I don't feel like Michael Gallup has completely, crossed over into the NFL just yet and has really grown into a great receiver. But the kid has ability that I'm curious about. I'm curious, okay, maybe he's all right. So you take Gallup with Cooper and you have Cole Beasley. Now you have a receiving core that is at least, it's doable. Does it change life? Is Amari Cooper Julio Jones? No. But I'm banking on Amari Cooper being enough of a threat to where Zeke will get better. He'll make Cole Beasley better. Maybe this tight end we got, Gathers, maybe he'll start showing what he can do. So the talent is there. I think Rico Gathers has amazing ability. I think Gallup is, showing promise. But we just don't know yet. And we don't know what Amari Cooper we're getting. So we got 3 guys that I feel like can make an impact on the offense from that receiver standpoint. But Cole Beasley can't be the number 1 guy. He's a great third down option. He's a great security blanket for when Dak got to get rid of the ball. But I feel like I need to know what I'm going to get from Gathers and Gallup and Amari Cooper. If I can get solid play from those guys, then maybe it works out. Maybe we can do something here. But we have to see. I don't know what Amari Cooper we're getting. I don't know how Rico Gathers is going to work out. I just don't know. But we will see how it plays out. If those guys can gel together, the Cowboys do have a bye week. So you have a whole week a whole 2 weeks to get Amari Cooper, comfortable and acclimated to the offense. And maybe you can, him and Gallup can develop some kind of rapport between the two of them. And that, for the most part, is the kind of quarterback, if you're open, he's getting you the ball. And I think Cooper runs great routes. So there is no excuse of, he can't run routes. He runs great routes. The hands are a question. It's a whole bunch of big questions right now about the Cowboys. And I don't know the answer to all of them. It depends on what Cooper we're going to get, what is Cole Beasley going to continue to be, and what can Michael Gallup and Rico Gathers, grow into. So I don't know if it changes everything right now, but I like where we're headed because now we have a alpha receiver. And now Cole Beasley can be what he is. A solid second, third option. It'll make Michael Gallup's job easier. And maybe we can get something from Rico Gathers. And maybe we'll be all right. But I just don't know. Well. The NBA, or should I say WBNBA, boxing, wrestling, whatever y'all want to do, man. The NBA season has started. I think there's nothing to be said about the West. I think Golden State is the best team in the West, hands down. As far as the East, I think the favorite right now should be Boston. And, folks are saying Philadelphia might be in it. I don't think so. I think Philadelphia, they still need some more pieces around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid because you have a guy in Ben Simmons that's not a shooter. And you have a dominant big man like Embiid. So you have 2 guys that play around the rim. So you need shooters around them. So I think Philadelphia, they got to make some moves here to get to that level. Right now it's Boston. But the second threat to me is Toronto. And I get it. Toronto hasn't performed that well in the playoffs, but hey, you play LeBron James every year in the playoffs. And, for whatever it's worth, they can't beat LeBron James. The Toronto Raptors have had a hard time beating the best player in the world. There's no shame in that. But now LeBron's gone, and you replace DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi Leonard. So with that transition, which you getting Kawhi Leonard in place of DeMar DeRozan with the same roster pretty much in the Eastern Conference, there is no excuse why they shouldn't be a contender. I just think Boston is too talented, too deep, too focused. They got a chip on their shoulder. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now, if I had to put my feet to the fire, it's an early season. It's a long season. We never know what's going to happen. Trades, acquisitions. So as of right now, I would say Golden State and Boston, with Toronto being the biggest threat to Boston. And in the West, I would say, you know what? Believe it or not, man, I think the Utah Jazz are becoming a big threat. So it wouldn't surprise me if I saw Golden State and the Utah Jazz and, Boston, Toronto. So we'll see how it plays out. But as you know, LeBron James is a Laker now. And there was a game, this past weekend. And the game was interrupted by a bit of a scuffle, bit of a fight. Um, I'm just call it what it is. Rajon Rondo is a disgusting dude, man. And I've never really been a big fan of Rajon Rondo. I've always thought he was a dirty player. Chris Paul's no angel. You know, he's been known for being a little dirty, but when you spit in the man's face, that's where you lost it with me. And I think Chris Paul showed unbelievable class and just control by not initially swinging. Now, for those of y'all that feel like Rajon Rondo won this fight, clearly you know nothing about boxing or fighting. Because first of all, Rajon Rondo did spit in the man's face. That was proven. And I don't care about, oh, he was talking. No, don't insult my intelligence. I saw Rajon Rondo. As you all know, he got one of those strong brick faces, like one of those strong brick faces, where you can see Rajon Rondo's mouth from back here. I saw this man's top lip. When you spit, you do this. You know what I'm saying? I saw his top lip form to spit, and he spit in Chris Paul's face. Chris Paul put his finger in his eye. Rajon Rondo threw a weak-ass left hook, barely connected. Chris Paul threw a uppercut, barely connected. Threw a jab at him, kind of landed. Then Brandon Ingram comes in and throws a punch and hits absolutely no one. And you got a big-ass brawl on your hands right in front of Floyd Mayweather, by the way, which I thought was hilarious. But for the most part, I think the NBA got it right. I honestly think I believe Rajon Rondo is kind of getting the pass from this. And I feel like it's not right. Because here's a guy that pretty much alienated and broke up what they had in Boston with his attitude. Doc Rivers said, I had enough of the kid. KG and Paul Pierce, Ray Allen all had enough of the kid. They even got rid of Rondo. He went to Dallas and was pretty much exiled and kicked off the team during the playoffs. Then he goes to Sacramento and he helps destroy that franchise. Goes to Chicago and destroys that franchise. Goes to New Orleans and for the most part didn't look that great until the playoffs came and playoff Rondo showed up. So for the most part, I feel like Rajon Rondo is very talented. I feel like he's never been the point guard Chris Paul is. As a matter of fact, their beef goes way back to 2009 when Rondo told Chris Paul, hey, you'll never be a champion like me. You'll never get a ring. And you're right, Rondo. Chris Paul does not have a ring like you. He also has never had KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen on his team at the same time like you had in their primes. So Rajon Rondo will never be the point guard Chris Paul is. Just like Chris Paul would never be the champion Rajon Rondo is, because Chris Paul has never had a team as great as what Rondo had in Boston. That's just my personal opinion. But back to the fight, I think Rajon Rondo is a nasty, despicable dude. I think Rajon Rondo should have gotten way more than what he got. I mean, they gave him, 3 games? Hell no. You spit in the man's face. You deserve at least a quarter of the season. Then you threw the first punch. So that should be another 5-10 games. Rajon Rondo should have gotten 30 games at least. You spit in the man's face. You threw the first punch. That's not excusable at all. Chris Paul should not have gotten suspended whatsoever. Brandon Ingram is a front-running punk. You know, you want to get mad because James Harden, gave you a little whatever, and then you want to get butt with the referee. You want to get all butt wild. Mr. Cool, Calm, Collect. No. And if I'm LeBron James, I'm worried. I'm worried because here I am. I come to LA, and LeBron. This is my issue with LeBron. He handpicks his rosters. Then he wants to say he has no help. Now, you went and got Lance Stevenson. You got Rondo. You got JaVale McGee. These guys are not what LeBron James needs to be successful. LeBron James needs shooters. When LeBron James is at his absolute best, he has shooters. He's a driver and a kicker. You have Lonzo, who is a ball handler, who needs the ball in his hand. You have Rondo, who needs the ball in his hand. Lance Stevenson needs the ball. Brandon Ingram needs the ball. These are not shooters. They're not spot-up shooters. These guys need the ball to boogie on people and score. They need the ball. So that's the first thing LeBron should be worried about. The next thing is that, your teammates are unstable. So the second game of the year, the first game in Staples, you play the Houston Rockets. Now, you're playing big-time teams. And these young Lakers like Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Clarkson, KCP, Brandon Ingram, these guys are not used to playing in high-profile, high-stakes games. And the first time they do, it's an all-out brawl because, come on. It's only going to get tougher. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Because think about this. What's going to happen when you play Golden State and Draymond is talking trash? What you going to do when you play New Orleans and AD is saying, hey, I'm the best player in the world? So LeBron's going to be in for that game. So if I'm LeBron James, I'm worried because my teammates are unstable. They can't shoot. And I think LeBron James is in for a long-ass, excuse-filled, miserable season with this young team. They don't fit with LeBron James schematically, emotionally. Think about it. The first intense Western Conference game you play in, you have an all-out brawl on your hands. So when Golden State comes to town and you got Draymond chirping and you got Steph Curry shimmering and you got KD doing his little talking, y'all gonna fight again? So if I'm LeBron James, I tell my teammates, look, guys, relax. It's the second game of the season. It's only going to get more intense. We ain't even played Golden State yet. We ain't even played New Orleans yet. We ain't even played Utah yet. You're talking about three teams that have personalities on their teams that can get under your skin. Joe Ingles and Utah will talk trash to you, Rondo. Draymond Green and Golden State will trash talk you, Brandon Ingram. Houston, they're no punks. The Western Conference is very intense. If I'm LeBron James, I'm worried. Like, hell, what are you guys doing? You're losing it. You're throwing punches. You're spitting. And it's game 2. So I think LeBron James is in for a long year. Hopefully I feel like what LeBron James came to LA to do, to avoid, he's got to do it now. You got to be LeBron James. Just put a team on your back. Go out there and drop 30, get 10 and 15 every night. That's what it's going to take because Rondo can't shoot. Ingram can't shoot. Lonzo can't shoot. Lance Stevenson can't shoot. These are what LeBron needs. When LeBron James was at his absolute best in Miami, he had snipers. So when LeBron James in Miami would drive to the basket and he passed the ball, guess who got the ball? Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Rashard Lewis. These are certified snipers. These are certified three-point specialists. That's what LeBron James needs, not guys that need the ball. Ray Allen didn't need the ball. Just spot up, get me my shot, I'll take it. The guys LeBron has around him are ball dominant. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Trust me, we'll revisit this mid-season. LeBron James will get someone traded because the team he has right now, the team LeBron James has right now in LA, is just not good enough to win the West. It's just not. So we'll see how it plays out. Well. Jimmy Buckets. Well, as you all know, Jimmy Butler had a pretty busy offseason. He called out teammates, demanded a trade, pretty much challenged the manhood of his two best teammates, Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, and Andrew Wiggins. Then shows up to training camp and expects his teammates to play hard for him. To me, Jimmy Butler, like, right now is an embarrassment right now. He's embarrassing himself. You demand a trade. You pretty much call your superstar big man a wussy. You call out Andrew Wiggins. You point and you saying, F y'all effing need me. Well, Jimmy, I wouldn't want you on my team. You not finna spend the whole offseason calling me a coward, calling me a punk, saying I ain't got no guts, and then show up in my face in training camp and expect me to play hard for you? No, bro. We gonna have a conversation in the one-on-one, but it ain't gonna be basketball. But see, the thing is, Jimmy Butler, just like Rondo, is getting a pass because the media sees Jimmy Butler, he grew up homeless. He didn't have any parents. He was poor. I don't give a damn. And I'm sick and tired of that narrative. Oh, get me a kid from the hood. I can win with the hood kids. I'm so sick and tired of that crap. I get it. Most of the talent you see on a lot of these teams came from bad neighborhoods. But you're talking to a guy that grew up on the east side of Jacksonville. Yes, there is plenty. There is a bushel of talent in my neighborhood that I grew up in. There's also a bushel of damn headaches. Guys that can't play on a team. Guys that have selfish attitudes. Guys that have a sense of entitlement because of how talented they are. Now I get it. Karl Anthony Towns had both parents growing up. Andrew Wiggins had, from what I see and what I've researched, has a pretty good solid backbone of a family. Pretty good family from what I've read and researched myself. So what? I'm supposed to call Karl Anthony Towns a wussy because he didn't grow up poor? So I'm going to sit here and say this guy can't play ball for me because his parents went to work and provided for their kid? I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if your father is Bill Gates. If you can play ball, then you can play ball for me. I don't care where you come from. And Jimmy Butler right now is looking more stereotypical, more of a stereotype than being a great ball player. First of all, Jimmy Butler is not even the best player on his team. And here is something that no one is saying about Jimmy Butler. He was in Chicago. He couldn't get along with Derrick Rose. He couldn't get along with Rajon Rondo, but who can? He couldn't get along with D Rose or D Wade or Rondo, so they got rid of those guys for you. Okay? Then you come to Minnesota. You come to Minnesota with Timberwolves, and now you can't get along with Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, and now you want a trade. And here's something I read. He was on Team USA when they won the last gold medal in 2016. And the word on the street was Jimmy Butler was a real a-hole. He was not a real pleasant guy to be around. Now you're on Team USA with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, a bunch of talented brothers that will play hard and play championship basketball. And even they said, we can't play with this guy. So let me get this right, Jimmy Butler. You were in Chicago. You couldn't get along with your teammates there. You go to Minnesota. You hate it there. Team USA, you didn't get along with them. Maybe you're the problem, bro. Maybe you're the issue. Maybe you're the typical talented brother from the hood. Full of talent. Full of attitude. Can't play on the team. All about my damn self and my own stuff. Quit being that guy, Jimmy Butler. I get it, man. You grew up homeless. You grew up in a hard life. You were adopted. I get all that. That don't mean a damn thing to me on the court, on the football field. Can you play ball? Can you be a part of this team? Can you put your personal pride to the side and be a great teammate? And your history shows you clearly are not that. So, my advice to Jimmy Butler is this. If you want to trade, then do it the right way, man. You all on social media going back and forth with Andrew Wiggins' little brother. You got Steven Jackson in your ear. Now think about this. Jimmy Butler, if Steven Jackson is your role model, then go ahead and just leave the NBA right now. Because you'll be just like him. Hardcore guy from the hood, who everyone loves. But guess what he's at right now? Unemployed in the Big Three. He's in Ice Cube's Big Three league. And he's not officially retired from basketball. Every time he come on TV, he say, oh, NBA teams, I'm available. It's the reason why. Because the guy's a horrible teammate. He's a horrible role model. And that's what you got in your ear, Jimmy Butler. You already lost, man. So thank God right now you're still pretty talented. Because as you learned with Dez Bryant, once your talent and your production goes below your drama you cause, you're out. And for what I see right now, you're still pretty good, damn good ball player. But be careful. Because Chicago, Minnesota, Team USA, you just might be on your third team. And you ain't even played 10 years yet. Your third team, a guy with your kind of talent will be on his third team. You're the issue, Jimmy Butler. You're the issue, not your team. It's ways to go about it. It's a time and a place for everything. And how he's going about it is cowardly. To me, it's front running. You want to go out here and call. Now, do I think Cat is a great big man? Yeah. Do I think he has a dog in him? Not just yet. Wiggins, does he underachieve? Yeah. But they're better ball players than you. So make it work. Figure it out. Or not, build your third team in less than 5 years. And then we'll see down the road who the real problem was. And I think the problem is you, Jimmy Butler. The problem is you and your selfish attitude. Well, y'all, that's my show for today. Like I said, man, UGA in Florida this weekend in Jacksonville. College game day will be in the building. My man Lee Corso, Desmond Howard, the Heisman Trophy winner from Michigan, Chris Fowler, everybody, man. The whole crew, Kurt Street, man, Tom Rinaldi, Maria Taylor, David Pollard, the whole crew will be in town, man. So I might even jet down there, get me a little tailgate action going on, man. Get me a little rails and chicken, baked beans, stuff like that, man. I'm ready to check out my damn self. And but like I said, roll tide. Next week on my podcast, I'll give y'all an Alabama and LSU preview. We'll see how the Jaguars and Cowboys bounce back from their, road loss. Cowboys be off their bye week. We'll see if Rondo's still in the NBA. Me personally, the guy needs to be gone. But for the most part, man, thank y'all for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all's support. Like I said, man, I wasn't feeling too good. I was on the weather all day. Wasn't feeling too good, man. Got my tea right here, man. But thank y'all so much. Only time Jacksonville relevant. Mike Frazier, nice of you to join me as I'm leaving. But hope you had a great time this weekend. I saw your pictures, man, with the kids out there in the Animal Kingdom, man. Look real nice. But look here, man. Jacksonville is relevant. The Jaguars could very much still win the AFC South. I don't care. So, my man, Big Willie Simmons. You ain't missed much, dog. Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. I think the dude doing pretty good. UCF, USF, getting some love on my podcast. I called out Urban Meyer for what he's done. Let's see. I had a UGA and UF preview. I got UGA winning big. I said LeBron James should be worried. He's got bad teammates who can't control their tempers, who can't shoot. So big up to LeBron. And I gave the Jaguars and Cowboys a little tough love. And of course I called out Jimmy Butler for his, atrocious behavior. But you ain't miss much, man. Pretty cut and dry show, man. We just move along with it, man. But Thanks for tuning in, bro. Big Mike, single father life. Well, hey man, go to Miami. King of Diamonds on me. But yeah, man. Hey man, just keep doing a great job, man. You're a great father, man. So it ain't too many single dads that still be in their kid's life, man. So you keep doing what you're doing, bro. I'm sure there's someone out there for you. Whenever you're ready, man. You're not too ugly, you know. You don't look too bad, Mike. But keep doing your thing, man. Raise some kids right, man. Big bro, you'll be fine, man. You'll be all right, dude. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I'm gonna drink some more of my herbal tea, and hopefully I feel better, man. I wasn't feeling too good today, man, but I love y'all for supporting me, you know. So, you know, this the way you be all right, man. Don't I don't want to see you on the news for nothing. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Hopefully I feel better next week, man. But I'll get back on this herbal tea and let y'all know how it be, man. Much love to you too, Mike, man. Be strong, baby. And man, hey, 1K Sports, man. Uncut, unbiased, unfiltered, unapologetic, and it's now officially over. Peace.